The big question, adoption. How do we get the consumer market into cryptocurrencies? Now, when a new user comes into this space, they see a lot of warring factions. They see a lot of divided projects, and the first thing they kind of consider is, okay, which one do I have to go for? Which one should I use? Which one's got long term? And it's so difficult because you can't view too many YouTube videos without one person saying one thing about a project and one person saying another thing about a project. Now, when I joined the space, I was fortunate enough to get an airdrop. It was actually the Stellar XLM airdrop that I got. And with that money, I had a little dabble. So I bought a bit of Bitcoin, I bought a bit of Ethereum, I bought a bit of Bitcoin Cash, and just had a little play. And then I started playing around with dApps and just kind of seeing what was happening. Now, a lot of new users go through this same process. They look at this stuff and they kind of say, okay, what works? What is this all about? And the more you kind of transact between it, you kind of see that, and you start doing a lot of research. And that's where the problems start to happen. You start to see these individual projects. You start to see cryptocurrencies and kind of a lot of really dodgy, bad behavior. Now, I think we need to address this from off. The minute someone comes into your project, if they see you bad-mouthing someone else or another project, you know what? That doesn't make people want to join you. It kind of turns them off. It's not how professional people act, So when we think about this, we need to think about the whole ecosystem. So currently we're just a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies, and we've got all our little communities, and we're all kind of very individual. No one's really trying to do things with each other. So the proposal here is this idea of crypto societies, where crypto societies, they can intertwine with each other. You can change between it. You can change between one coin and another coin. There's no fees. There's no rent seeking, and it's all about the space. So let's just kind of absorb this. It's about the space. You don't like Bitcoin Cash? Doesn't matter. You don't like Decred? Doesn't matter. You don't have to buy those things. You buy some Dash, you buy some Monero. It doesn't matter. But if you ever change your mind, you can just change between them. It's not a problem, There's a lot of promise on so many different projects, and it's very difficult to believe that there will only be one coin. Now, when new people come into here, they're led to believe that Bitcoin is the be-all and end-all. But the minute they start doing some research, like, oh, well, that doesn't sound right. Why is it £3 to do a transaction? I thought this Bitcoin thing was better than banking. So straight away, new users kind of see this. They say, well, Bitcoin is good technology. There's no doubts about that, but look at Stellar. Stellar, I can transfer £50 for a fraction of a penny. Look at Bitcoin Cash, a fraction of a penny. And these things they're fast as well. I mean, Stellar can do it in under a minute. There are a few arguments with that, of course, but the fact is there are people in this space doing different things, and we have to acknowledge that. We have to run with it. And if you are a project lead, you probably should be saying to yourself, well, is there something in that? Is there something I can use? Now, I've done a quick calculation. These are the projects that I most like at the moment, and it'll probably change in the future. But there are 8 projects. All of these have a maximum cap of 21 million. So in total, we have 168 million coins divided between 7 billion people. That means that each person in the world can only own 0.24 coins. Now, if you're into this space, that's not going to happen. You want to own more than that. You want to save it. You want to do whatever. So as far as I'm concerned, if all the projects that I'm interested in, and everyone should be interested in, have a max cap of 21 million, there's probably room for another 10, 15, 20, 30 of these projects. So don't get caught up in the argument there will only be one. That's really not going to happen. There's going to be lots of these projects. So the natural cycle of money, what do you want to do with it? I mean, cryptocurrency, first you have to buy it. I mean, you don't really buy normal fiat currencies, but in this particular space, first you have to buy it. The next thing is you want to save it. People want to hold on to their wealth. After that, you want the opportunity to earn it. So can you earn cryptocurrencies? Currently, there are certain ways of staking, but you can't. It's not very easy to kind of put your physical labor and earn cryptocurrencies. But that's where we have to head that way, and then finally we want to spend it. This is the cycle: buy it, save it, earn it, spend it. And until we have that cycle, we're just a project, okay? So don't worry about what individual things are doing. This is what we should all be aiming for. And the more we can kind of intermingle with each other, the more this is likely to happen. So I have this theory of sound money, and a lot of people share this, and it's not uniquely mine. But it goes something like this. If we're going to create something that's better than fiat currencies, better than the US dollar, better than the British pound, better than the Aussie dollar and all the rest of them, we have to do something unique. We have to do something that's better in every single way. In my opinion, this starts with the top note here. It starts with open and fairness. So the maximum supply on an open ledger kind of makes that happen. No bank is doing that. No bank is likely to do that. No central government is ever likely to have this maximum supply of 21 million. Even big business, you look at the Libra project, there's no way they're leaving the ledger open. There's no way their maximum cap of 21 million. If they did, oh my God, they would have the best project ever. You know, all these other projects would be sunk in the water. But why are the crypto people not worried about Libra or the central bank dollar? You know, because they can't do these two things. They won't do these two things. So yeah, they'll be around. Yeah, they'll probably intermingle. Yeah, they'll probably work. But ultimately, it's those two things that make cryptocurrencies. And I see all these other big projects that are printing like billions of coins. It's like, why do you need so many coins? You know, in this stage of the game, and even 10, 20, 30, 40 years, when there's a million of these projects, you're not going to need that. There's no reason for you to have that many coins. 21 million is what Satoshi said. So let's just do that. Let's just keep it. That's the good thing about what Bitcoin actually did well. So the next thing that people are expecting, you know, store of value. People need to save the money. Now, one of the reasons I got into cryptocurrencies is because I'm a useless saver. I tried so many times. There's certain periods of the year where my business earns good money, and then other times of the year where it doesn't. So I try to kind of average out those savers so I have money for the future. And then every time my year cycles around, you're back to zero. And it's like, no, this can't be right. This is not the way the world works. If you work for 20 years, you should have savings. 10% is the norm. That's what my nan was doing back in the 60s and 50s and whatever. 10% of her wages went in. So when these big crises like COVID-19 come up, they weren't going, oh my God, I can't live for 3 months. This is terrible. I'm out of a job and now I'm completely bankrupt. No, because you should have enough money to keep you rolling over. 3 months is not a big deal. So people need to be able to save. Store of value. People need to preserve wealth. Now, if your coin is fluctuating up and down like crazy, that's not really preserving wealth. So when you think about cryptocurrency, you really have to think about this long game. There's a couple of other things I think about that, but let's just leave it at that, preserving wealth. And then finally, people need to feel safe. If they don't feel safe with your product, they're not going to stay with you. They're moving on. Great thing about cryptocurrencies, it takes me about, well, maybe a bit longer with some currencies, but 10 minutes to get out of a position, and into another position. If I see something dodgy happening because I've looked at the open ledger, I'm out of that position. I can be out of that position in 10 minutes with no worries at all, So if you want your project to survive, people need to feel safe, they need to feel like they're preserving wealth, and they need to be able to save. That's the first part of sound money. Get those 4 things down and then we can move on. And I've put a little tag where I think we currently are. Now the next thing, medium of exchange. People need to be able to spend this stuff and they need to be able to earn this stuff. If they can't earn it without having to go onto an exchange and buy it in the long term, it's just not going to work. How do we get that? Distribution. It has to be distributed far and wide. The more people that have this, and the more value of people saying, hey, actual fact, you can pay me in Decred. It's fine. I'll make you a picture. I'll write you some music. I'll do whatever. You can pay me in Decred. It's not a problem. And that's what I want. And then finally, unit of account. This is not a massive deal at the moment. Everything's kind of counted in dollars at the moment. But in the future, if I say, look, my labor per hour is 1 Decred, it doesn't matter. That's your unit of account. A job done. And this is where we're aiming for. These points are so fundamental. So, the final thoughts on this whole thing then. So, what are we trying to do here? Why are we looking at crypto societies over cryptocurrencies? Now, obviously we're all cryptocurrencies, but the society kind of said, look, we're going to be able to work together. We're going to be able to cross-transact. No project is an island, and we're going to have greater flexibility and greater respect. And that's really what it's about. If you want adoption, It's this greater respect. When we're talking, say, look, this project's okay, I actually prefer this. It's no big deal, and this is why. Back up your facts with education and knowledge, and people love that. People will come to this space. The minute they see it's worse than what they've already got, they're not coming. So, provide for the greater good. One thing I love about Decred, and I said this before about their DEX, they're building a DEX and it's going to be chain agnostic. And what that means is you're going to be able to trade free of fees across any currency that wants to participate, and it's this saying, and I always think back to kind of how the English Empire conquers, or back in the day conquered a land, and they would say divide and conquer. That was their big thing, and the more they divided the people, the more they could get them to war against each other, and the communities fractured. That's a great strategy. Still works today. It's still happening today. So if we can become a crypto society, we can stay together. Divided we fall, together we stand. Next, so payment and exchange systems, no rent seeking, facilitate buying and spending with near zero fees. This is so important. If you want people to come to your project or the crypto society, we have to be doing it with near zero fees. It shouldn't be costing me £4 to transact. It shouldn't be costing me, £4 just to buy a cup of coffee that costs £1 or whatever. Finally, the way we talk to each other. So we want to be decentralized, but let's think about this in a new way. And I'll probably do another video for this, but decentralized meritocracy. This is where people kind of, with the most respect, have the biggest say. That's not what it is at the moment. People coming onto the forums, spamming away and saying, this coin's rubbish and this coin's rubbish, and using worse words than that, of course, and they make the whole thing toxic. Now, if you had a meritocracy, you could see if that person had any credibility, and that's what we really need to aim towards. Decentralized meritocracy, where the people that people respect the most have the biggest say, building these non-toxic communities, doing the right thing. This is a requirement, not a suggestion. So those are my 10 cents worth. This is kind of where I'm at right now. This is what I'm thinking about. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to push out some more of these videos. But that was just my 10 cents worth on crypto societies. Have a good one.